Hello, I'm Donna Stouffer, and my son's on death row. But before I start any personal things, I'd like to say to the family, this was a tragedy for both families. Uh, Anything I say, I don't want them offended or hurt. Every time I go past that corner, it's a reminder of what happened. And I always say a prayer for Sheriff Hans's soul, and I also pray for the healing of their family. But anyway, the reason I'm against the death penalty, I think your soul is the most important thing of your being. And if that soul's shortened through any form of murder, like street murder, abortion, suicide, capital punishment, it's still murder. It's taking a life before its time, before God's time. And I feel like that we don't have that right, that only God has that right. I know people get full of revenge and they want to strike out and they want to hurt because they're hurt. But that's not our right to do that. And when you do that, you're taking away a chance maybe that person could have changed their life, like the good thief at the last moment. As long as a person is alive, they have a chance to make a change in their hearts, and if they don't, they'll answer. We don't have to revenge anybody. They're going to answer to God. My grandmother's uncle was murdered when I was in the second grade. He was an attorney and took a case, it was a divorce case. Anyway, the father and son met him outside of a grocery and beat him up. They found his glasses and grocery bag behind the A&P. And anyway, 3 days later, they found him tied to a pillar, and he, drowned it. I can remember my grandmother being on TV and the pain in her eyes. I learned that my grandmother was against the death penalty, which, see, I respect that, because those men, even though they killed my uncle, they have the right, everybody has a right to salvation. Like a lot of people hated us, I was saying a minute ago. And this one policeman, we became friends, but he hated my guts because I was Vincent's mom. And like, they were boycotting places, and if I'd walk in, they hope the SB dies, and I'd shoot him myself and whatever. Anyway, after about 7 years, he came up to me and he said, he said, he was hemming and hawing. I'm sorry. He said, I got the sheriff the job. And he said, I felt the blame. And he said, I took it out on you. And we took hands. I said, boy, this is an answer to prayers. I said, I've been praying for you for 7 years. And anyway, he said, I'll never bar you out of any place. And he said, you are welcome to come to my place. After that, he was the nicest man to me. God rest his soul. Anyway, it just touched my heart. That was another way I saw God move. There was no way that man was going to like me. And I mean, God did something inside of him. It changed his heart. And it was just so beautiful to see him not full of hatred and not malice, It really meant something to my heart. It was just like I could see God moving. Like Vincent's real active with his involvement with his children, which, he still has purpose. He still offers. He may be on death row, but he still offers to other human beings I mean, he's touched some lives. Sometimes I know he's got some kind of strength that he's become a better man. I I hate it that he's there, but he has become a better man. I know he's a good person inside, and I'm glad that he offers to other human beings, even on death row, talking and helping other people. Uh, I said some people are out here on the streets and they don't offer anything, but to be confined and offer something, to me is tremendous. It was, like I said, it was like something you just didn't know how you were going to ever deal with. It was just like I said, it was like the whole family went on death row. I saw my father would sit in his chair, and he was grieving. My parents loved my son just like he was their own son. And Mom, I really hate to say this, almost every one of us had to get on some kind of form of medication to cope. But I mean, I'm not going to take the glory from God. Personally, when I would get nervous, I drank terrible. And I haven't drank for a year now. And thanks God. But even before, it wasn't that I drank all the time. I would just get so nervous with the whole situation and self-medicate, and which wasn't the answer because it wasn't solving anything. And I'd ask him not to sign another death warrant. The people I voted for Fletcher only because he was a doctor, and I thought he would have to respect life. I wouldn't want to face God and say, oh, well, I said it was okay to kill him. You know, I don't think people realize, or whoever does the lethal injection. That's murder. It's murder. You can say to me, oh, well, your son's on death row, but any form of murder is murder. Anyway, I'm just sorry. If I could take this part of my life away, I'd sure do it. And I'm sure my son would.